Hi folks, today we're just having a quick look at my Speed Champions cars. I'm not going to go through them all, obviously you know them anyway, but the obvious one in the middle there's a mock I've created myself, which is of for those of you old enough to remember, the Dukes of Hazzard car General Lee, which is a 69 Dodge Charger. Let's take it up a bit. So that's obviously a modification. It's sitting on the Speed Champions chassis as well. It's obviously a modification that I've created myself, and it's probably not too bad. It's obviously not perfect. It's like best I can do with obviously the size and shape and everything that I had. Basically just working it off the Speed Champions scale and using the parts I can use or the techniques I could use from the other, obviously the Dodge Challenger that's sitting there as well, and the 70s Charger, Dom's Charger, which you can see in the background as well. But I've made it as close as I can to the Dodge Charger from the TV programs. So that's the first one, obviously it's my own creation, that one. That's obviously the James Bond one, which you've seen before. The main thing I'm obviously doing today, I was asked a question about how I managed to light my cars up. So I'll quickly show. Obviously a lot of people light them up. They complain about the wires that are still visible in the car and round about the build and everything, and obviously the power pack that hangs off the car as well to do that. But as you can see, this one just looks like a normal Speed Champions car, but it does actually have LED lighting in it as well. The front and back lights are lit, and as you can see there's no cables or anything hanging off it, and it is still a fully playable model if you wanted to play with it. It still runs and does whatever it needs to do, and except it's also had the lights added as well. I'll quickly show you, I also did it with the Dom's Charger as well. So again, the actual build looks pretty much the same as the original build. It's still got all the features that the original one has, and it's just got the added extra. Well, again, just turn them on, there they are, the lights. Again, right in the front and at the back as well. Again, fully playable. There's nothing actually different with the playable part of the car, because again I've covered up all the cables as much as possible. So again, it looks quite clean. You're not really seeing any of the cables running around. If you lift it up, obviously you can see they're running underneath the car, so you don't see it. And that's the battery pack. Just small 0232 batteries that sit in the battery pack, which come with certain suppliers, the LED suppliers. It's usually Brickmax I get mine through, to be fair. They supply the smaller battery pack with a lot of their sets, and that's literally all I've done. Is a little bit of blue tack underneath there and stuck it to the bottom of the car, so it's not actually interfering with the ground clearance of the car, and it means that the whole thing is contained within the actual size of the car. So you've got all your lights working, you've got the battery pack, you've got no wires going around to stop the playability of the car, and as you see, it still works fine. It still runs, plays while the batteries are running. Absolutely no connections to it at all. And the odd one out, obviously, on that picture you probably noticed, is the little car, which is from the 10260, I think it was, the Creator Diner set. Again, it's just a standard little car, a lot smaller than the Speed Champions cars, obviously. But again, as you hopefully can't see, it's not actually covered in wires or very obvious what's different to the standard car that you get with the actual diner set, but again it does actually have, let's turn it around and turn them on, it does actually have a couple of lights there at the front and a couple of lights at the back. So again, it is a smaller car, so that's one of the reasons why I've only done the 2 rear lights. Also there only is 2 at the front anyway, but I didn't do the 2 extra ones because I need extra room for the bigger expansion board to plug them in. But in this one, if you aren't familiar with the actual car, what I've actually done is added a little running step at the side of the car here. So I'll just put that, my hand under that so you can see it. There's a little running step at the side of the car there, and the reason for adding that is at the other side we have a running step which is actually the battery pack. So I've just modified the bottom of the car to fit the battery pack into the bottom there, and put it there as a running board and matched it to the other side just using standard Lego. So that's how I did that. Underneath the bonnet I took out one of the blocks underneath the bonnet so I could get the expansion board in there, and that's where the lights are all connected back to, and obviously the rest of the cables just run into the car. So again, no wires, no cables, everything's contained within the actual car, and it doesn't affect the playability in any way. I say the only thing is that one has the slightly wider running board, which as you can see doesn't increase the width of the car by an awful lot, but they do have that just so I can get the battery pack into the side of the car there and keep it all within the profile of the car and keep it playable. So you can still use it while the lights are on. So there we have it. That was just a quick rundown of the lighting that I've put into the cars, mainly Speed Champions ones, also the small diner one, and just to show that they are completely self-contained, no wires, nothing like that, and they're still completely playable. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you next time. Cheers folks.